Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we are here at IMOLA and ACC in the LFM in the Coach Dave series. Kind of scrambling. It's been the whole scrambling thing here. I wiped out my dang... I'm third. I was second. Somebody must have knocked me out to third. Wiped my whole setup out right when I started. When I loaded, I must have done something and messed it up. So I wiped it out, and I had to go put as much back in as I thought it was, and so I've been scrambling ever since. We're in the BMW M4. It's like pretty much a BMW show up here. Sorry for I got a head cold, so sorry I'm talking probably not too good.
Green light, give it all again.
Got another BMW behind me.
Car on the left.
Jeez! I couldn't help that. It knocked me right off. Got some damage, but all right, let's go. Too many mistakes. Way too many mistakes. Better. That's better. Too bad. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I must have, I don't know. It's crazy because the setup was just gone. And then I'm scrambling, trying to piece it back together, go out and do qualifying.
Great job, man.
I had to look over Motec within like about a minute just to kind of, you know, put the settings back close on my on the shocks. The shocks here, pretty important. Well, I know they're not right, but I mean, I just try to. I made a big guess and just thought where I had them, and then I looked at Motec after qualifying, and really quick, like I said, within like a minute, and just did some more big adjustments. So I know they're off, but hopefully they're not real bad. Don't feel too bad. That was not good. I got no damage. Okay. Well, he bumped me. This was a net code, but he, you know, I mean, I thought he bumped me.
Fastest lap of the race, man. Good job.
Another thing, I think my steering wheel's not adjusted right. It's adjusted, but I mean the steering ratio, I think it needs to go up a little bit. It's very sensitive. He's going so wide, I don't know if he's letting me by.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Good at that hairpin.
Still a long way to go.
I don't know, first or second, it's like, not really sure. If you hit it right with second, it's really good, but too bad. Too deep. Bad. That was the second gear. No. If you hit it right, it's okay. bad for a bad first sector. Looks like most cars I take it in second through here. But the BMW, third is really good. Second's too low. I haven't been driving the BMW lately, so I just figured something a little different. Try to get on the gas too early.
Fastest lap on the race. Great job, man.
Speed's pretty good. 163. It's not bad.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Staying right on my Delta, so I'm happy about that.
Fastest lap on the race so far.
Alright, just keeps getting a little better and a little better. Second place is about 9 seconds back, so that's good. Got a gap. Just need to keep it on the track. Lap of the race. That's all right. I don't mind slowing it down a little bit. One thing about the BMW, it just so good on its tires that it just stays very consistent, very big strength. Too bumpy. Car still feels really good. Alright, I hit that just right.
Alright, you're on the final lap as leader. Bring it on.
Dang it, almost had a 41.
Fastest lap of the race, man. Good job.
Dang. Messed up that last couple corners. It would have been a 41. Enough fuel. Thank you, Joe Blow. More than enough, really. Again, I didn't get an accurate mileage reading, so I just put a little extra in.
Excellent job, man.
Right.
P1. Bring it back home safely.
Look at that consistency. 97. All right. I think that's like one of the highest I've ever had. I'll take that because that's what I want. I like that. I like consistency as much or more than just a ultimate fast lap. So super happy with that. I'm stoked. As Stu puts it, I am knackered. But I'm a happy knackered. So thinking of some of this, having this head cold's taking some of the energy out of me. But maybe I need to sweat it out anyway, so, right? So I'd rather sweat it out doing this. So, some good medicine. Alright. I'm really happy with the results. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of the data, and we can go over it together with Motec and all that stuff, and we'll make sure we can dial this in anymore. And of course, then we'll go over at the LFM homepage, and we'll check that out. Alrighty, well, we're back here at IMOLA, and working on the setup a little bit, as far as just double checking it and making some changes, getting the balance a little bit better. You can see I ran a 140, 190, and that's with hotter temperatures, because it was only like 16, I think, in the race, and it's 24 here. So and I had a little more fuel too. So like I said, I think the balance of the car is even better and even more drivable. It's basically checks all the boxes. So it's definitely an improvement. But the one thing I did not change is the shocks, because I wanted to go over Motec and the shocks together, so that I didn't do any other adjustment. So we'll have to check that. I could be way off. That I don't know. So we'll go over that. So, but I'm really happy because I think it's an improvement over. It goes over the bumps a little better because I adjusted the ride height and the balance, and it still, feels good everywhere else. So it still handles really well, and I just think it's a easier overall car to drive. Especially if you just clip the sausages a little bit or something, it's not too big a deal. So let's go over to setup. We got 26.4 left front, 26.1 left rear, 25.8 right front, 25.7 right rear. And that's another thing I wanted to go over my tire pressures for the 24, 25 degrees. So that's another thing I had to adjust a little bit on that. The toe on the front is a negative 0.2, with the camber on the left is negative 3.7, and the right is negative 3.8. Caster is 12. Toe on the rear is a positive 0.05, with the camber at negative 3 on the left rear and negative 2.9 on the right rear. Now those I did adjust. They were equal on both sides before in the race, but I did just one click on each of those just to get the temperatures from the inner to the outer equal all the way around. So, and then when I did my fast lap, went out and did my fast lap, they were all just right where I want them. So everything looks good. Well, as you can see, that's where they're at right there. You can see it's 3 degrees, 3 degrees, 3 degrees, and 3 degrees. And so they all look good. And actually, the temperatures front to rear look really good also. So it's wearing really good. TC is 4, ABS 3, map is 1. Fuel, I had 55 liters. A little more than I did in the race. I had 50 liters in the race. That's what I started out at. Here's the tires that I ran the fast lap in. And as you can see, the BMW wears the rear tires more aggressively than the fronts. So what you really need to try to do is wear these fronts more, just so they're not such a big difference. That's one thing really quick here. I did check the tires after the race, and the tires looked really good, but the left front had graining, and that was it, just light graining. Just light graining on the left front, that was it. So after 25 minutes, that's really good. The one thing I wasn't, it was okay, but one thing I wish I wanted to improve upon is it had a bigger gap between the front and the rear. The rear had more wear by a pretty good amount, or a pretty good margin than the front. So that is what I was, just try to get that a little closer. I don't think you'll ever get it, pretty much even. But if I could just crawl that back a little bit to where they're not as drastic, I think, because of what happens then, the rears will wear so fast that it'll start to slide around near the end. So, but anyway, I tried to make some adjustments to help that. Mechanical got 6 on the anti-roll bar. Brake bias is 52.1. Steering is 13. That's another thing. The steering was all the way down, and I needed to add some steering ratio to it, so that made it a little bit more difficult for me to drive it in the race, but I just had to adapt to it. So when I came here and changed it to get it the way it should be, it took me a little while to get back how the car's steering, and it wasn't the car, it was just me trying to get accustomed to it again. So again, but that's where it should be, somewhere around 13. Springs in the front are 150,000 with the bump stop rate at 400 and the bump stop range at 5. And on the rear, the springs are 135,000 with the bump stop rate at 500 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bar is 4 and the preload on the diff is 120. All that here is pretty much the same. I didn't change. I'm trying to think if I changed any of it. I don't think so. It's all the same other than the steering ratio. Shock. So here's the shock. So let's again look at Motec. So there you go with Motec, which I can adjust it just a little bit. You can see it's off a little bit. Rears don't look too bad actually. Front, it's not bad, but you can tell it's off a little bit. You got this one at 49.9, so it's close there, but you can see the graph. This all needs to come down. It's all too high. So I'm gonna go down a good amount. There we go. This side is 50.1, so again, right near 50, but again, you know, this graph is pretty good, but this one needs to come down, so we need to just drop the whole thing equally and just go down like that. We'll try that. And then this one is 49.9. That's again not bad, but again, this should be dropped down. That's not too bad there. But yeah, that's definitely too high. So again, I'll go a little bit less. And this side is 49. This is 50 right on the nose. So again, right on the button with 50, but still, it really should just a little bit down. Nothing drastic. So again, I'll come down. We'll just do the same as the other one. So even if it's into the 49s, I'd rather have this a little bit smoother through here instead of it basically not really much of a variation. This is pretty much barely any variation here. So we'll try to see if hopefully that'll improve it. Here we have about 48 something. It's like 47, like 48, 2 or 3, something like that. It's not too bad, really. If anything, yeah, it's not real bad, but still, I don't like the way the graph is. But there's not really. I might bring this down just a little bit, but that's about it. I think I'll do that. We'll just bring this part down a little bit and leave this alone. Here we got 51.6. So again, that's too much. Here is already maxed out. Already got as low as it can go. So it's really can't do much with that. So we'll just drop it down to there, down to pretty much the bottom. This one here is, again, that's 38, 48, 8, 48, like 48.5, something like that. So again, it's about the same as the other side. So we'll just again do the same thing. We'll just knock that down a couple. And this side is 49.7, and actually it's not as high as the other side because it's only like 49, about 50.4. So I mean that's not as high as this side. This side was 51.6. So again, not as bad, and you can tell it doesn't look as bad either. So again, we'll just go down one click on that one. So again, a little different on the corner. So you got 3-1, 12-10 on the left front, 3-1, 14-10 on the right front, 1-1, 8-5 on the left rear, and 2-1, 8-5 on the right rear. So that is that. and that should help a little bit also. But this thing goes over bumps like awesome. So it should even, again, lose even less time going over those sausages and the chicane there. Aero, we got 53 in the front, 58 in the rear with a 5 wing and a 3 in the brake ducts. And the front aero variation is a 2.5 to the positive. So again, really happy with that. This actually, the ride heights are different. I raised the car up 1 click in the front and 2 in the rear. So I did try a couple different things. I clicked one more wing and tried some things. Didn't really care for that. And this is the same wing I had in the race. Was a 5 wing. But the car does not. If you drop the fuel down to nothing, at least at 55 liters, it doesn't even change anything. So let's put this thing up to like 85. Okay. So it just comes up 1. That's it. It comes up 1 in the front, and it comes up 2 in the rear. So as far as the balance of the car, it stays dead on. So that's one reason this car is so awesome through a stint, is the balance of the car does not change as you're dropping the fuel load. It stays right the same. So that's a really good thing. So again, it makes a big difference, because it makes the car, even with the worn tires, if you have your balance right and the setup right. I mean, you saw me. I was running my quickest laps like right at the end of the race, a lap before the end. So again, that's what it should be. You should be very consistent. And this, as the fuel comes off, of course, you're going to pick up a little performance because the fuel's coming off. So this is a really good balance here. I'm really happy with it. Go save that. And of course, I'll leave a link in the description. And then one thing I did not check, which is the speed. And we will check the speed now. Just take a second. $162. Okay, so it's 162. So real happy. That's not that bad. That's only about a 1 or 2 mile an hour off the real fast, But I'm still happy with that. Ooh, good picture. So, I mean, I think it was 163 in the race, because I had the car lower. But still, I mean, some of it depends upon how good you come off the last corner. And of course, it was cooler there too than it is here. So I don't know if those make a difference, but again, it's really close. Probably less than a mile an hour. So let's go to the LFM website. So you're going to get 2 for the price of 1, because I did a race earlier with the Bentley. It wasn't as good a race, and I went off the track one time, and I got to do some adjustments on the setup. It wasn't working the way I needed it to work. But I just haven't raced it in a while, so I went ahead and did that. So that was this race. So we'll go over, even though that wasn't the video. I think I finished 6th. Yeah, I was actually going up for 3rd. So when I went off the track and had to come back and make up some positions. But I got 11 incident points. My safety rating went up 0.16, and my ELO went up 53. So again, small gains, nothing major. But so let's go to the next one. Well, it didn't go there. All right, well, I'll go over here. Sometimes you got to go over here. Well, that's not it either. Oh, come on. Doesn't have any past race. Oh, there it is. There we go. Let's go to there. I gotta find it. Sorry about that. There we go. The winner. I only had 2 incident points. It's probably for going off the track that one time at the start, and that was not my fault. I mean, I watched the replay, and he bumped me. He hit me pretty good off of there. I'm surprised I didn't have any damage. and I was just kind of along for the ride after that. So I mean, really, some of that's just luck. I went through there and just happened to not hit anything to upset the car. I guess the car is good for off-roading. So and I went right through there and it was fine. So I caught a break there. But my safety rating went up 0.3 so we're at 634 is my safety rating, and my ELO went up 76, so we're up to 1397. So I'm slowly crawling back. Of course, I didn't race this last week here in LFM, so hopefully I'll do some more this upcoming week. But again, just have to see how it goes. And IMOLA is definitely not one of my stronger tracks, but at least I'm making some improvements. And you see the top 4 were all BMWs and then 2 Aston Martins. So, again, my fast lap was a 142.01. So, decent lap for me. I know it's not the greatest, but it's decent for me. So, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. And, again, I will leave a link to this setup in the description. And like all my setups are all free. And I have my other setups are in my playlist. Just got to look for the track and and see if the car you're looking for is in there. Again, I appreciate all your support. A like and subscribing really makes a big difference, and also sharing it makes a big difference. I do have a PayPal account if you want to support me that way. But again, it's not a have to. I mean, I understand. But watching my video, liking, subscribing, all those things are support. So again, thank you to all of them. And a special thanks to all my subscribers. Appreciate it very much. And again, I love to hear your feedback and comments. And I hope you all come back and visit again really soon. See ya.